You were never supposed to get rich. Not because you're bad with money, because the entire system was built so you wouldn't notice it was designed that way. And the wildest part? The people who built it told us, out loud, on the record, decades ago. My cousin makes $95,000 a year. Good job, no kids, low rent, and she has $340 in savings. Not because she's careless. She's actually one of the most disciplined people I know about everything except this. She just never gets ahead. Every year, something eats the gap. New car, medical bill, just this once vacation. She thinks it's her. It's not just her. Quick question. Why does almost everyone's spending go up the moment their income does? Not because we suddenly need more stuff, because the system was engineered to make sure it does. 1957. A guy named Frank McNamara is at dinner in New York, and he forgets his wallet. Embarrassing enough that he goes and invents a fix for it, a small card that lets you pay for things you don't have the cash for yet. Diners Club, the first credit card. 27 people used it that first year. 27 people. Today, it's over 190 million Americans. Let's get to why that happened. By the 1970s, banks realized something bigger than just convenience. If you let people spend money they don't have and charge interest on the gap, you don't need them to be irresponsible. You just need them to be normal, because normal people, given a little more room, will always fill it. Today, the average American household carries over $6,000 in credit card debt, not because they're bad with money, because the product was never a card. The product was the gap. Here's the part that actually got me when I first learned it. The system doesn't profit when you're broke. It profits when you're almost fine. Broke people default. Lenders lose money on that. What lenders want is someone paying the minimum forever, staying just above water. Wait, say that back to yourself for a second. The goal was never your failure. Psychologists and economists have a name for the mechanism behind this: lifestyle creep. Every time your income rises, your baseline for normal quietly rises with it. What felt like a splurge last year feels like a necessity this year. And the system doesn't have to force this on you. It just has to make the upgrade always available right when you're feeling good about a raise. That's basically my cousin's whole story. Every raise came with a "you deserve this" moment already lined up. New apartment, nicer car lease, better everything. Nobody made her do it. She just never had to stop and ask if she wanted it. The options showed up right on cue. So here's the actual number that should bother you. The average person who consistently spends up to their income instead of saving even 10% of every raise ends up with roughly $1.2 million less by retirement. Not from one bad decision, from never once catching the gap. Imagine standing at the edge of a pool that's $1 million deep, and you never even look down because the water was always exactly ankle height every single day for 40 years. That's the trap. Not one big loss. 40 years of never noticing the gap was there to close. If you've ever looked at your bank account after a raise and wondered where it all went, that's not a you problem. That's the system working exactly as designed. Hit like if this is the first time you've actually seen it laid out like this. Genuinely helps get this in front of someone before their gap gets any wider. Okay, so what do you actually do about a system built like this? First, automate the gap before you ever see it. The moment a raise hits, move the increase straight to savings, same day. If it never touches your checking account, it can't quietly become normal. Second, freeze your baseline for 30 days after any income jump. No new subscriptions, no upgrades, nothing locked into a lease or a loan. Just let the new number sit for a month before your lifestyle catches up to it. Third, treat the "I can afford it now" as a warning, not a green light. That's the exact sentence the gap wants you to say. The real question was never whether you can afford it, it's whether you'd still buy it if nobody could see you owning it. The system doesn't need you to fail. It just needs you to keep participating. My cousin's turning it around now, by the way. Slowly. She started with one rule. Every raise, half goes straight to an account she doesn't touch. That's it. Nothing dramatic. But when I asked her what changed, she didn't say, I got more disciplined. She said, I finally noticed the gap was there. That's the whole thing. It was never about willpower. It was about finally seeing the thing that was built for you not to. A system doesn't need you to make you poor. It only needs you to make you comfortable enough to stop asking questions. Because the system doesn't need your failure. It only needs your participation. And the moment you stop participating quietly is the moment it stops working on you. If you want to see the gap before it closes on you, subscribe. That's basically the whole channel.